How's it going, guys? This is Rio Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. We meet again. Long story short, I tried to sum it up for you guys in a short duration as possible. Sakura is basically a flower that blooms during Japan during the beginning of spring, and it's sort of like an icon saying that spring is on its way. And depending on where you live in Japan, up north it's still cold, it's below 10 degrees Celsius, while the southern part of Japan it's like more than like 20 degrees. So there's this sort of like temperature difference going on throughout Japan, and this sakura flower like blooms when it gets warmer. So basically the southern part of Japan it's like blooming and just ended, and then Tokyo starts blooming, and after Tokyo like bloom ends, the northern part of Japan, the sakura in that region basically blooms. So there's this sort of like time lag that happens, and which is like really interesting for traveling in Japan. And I basically had the opportunity to shoot the sakura flower in Tokyo actually. Before I go into details, I have to give you guys the background information. Kudanshita is basically a subway metro station area on the Tokyo Hanzo line and also the Tokyo Tozai line. The first letter for Tozai line's T, Hanzomon's H, indicates that, specific subway line. And if you look at the map that I sort of attach, for every like single like train subway line that you see, each and every one of them has a color, so you can understand where that line goes and which stop it stops at. And Kudanshita is, how should I say it? It's a really ironic area because it is actually famous for the Yasukuni Shrine, actually the most controversial shrine in Japan, which you guys probably know but not know that it is the shrine that sort of like worships the war criminals of Japan. So I never go there. But if you actually go the opposite direction from the shrine, away from the shrine, there's this area called Chidorigafuchi, which is basically a sort of like a moat that surrounds the what I call imperial, or how should I say that, where the emperor of Japan actually lives. And before that, actually, there was actually sort of like a castle. And you guys probably know, if you know historical Japan, that the most important parts of that capital or that city, there was a castle, and in order to like defend that castle, you guys probably know, I think same concept applies to European countries, that they basically dug out a moat around so no one can invade that castle. So sort of like historical background for you guys. But this area right now is, they actually planted it with a lot of sakura trees back in the days, and every year now during the springtime it blooms, and it's a pretty nice location to like shoot photos around. And I keep going off topic a little bit, but that was actually one of the areas that I wanted to visit during this period of time particular. But when you get off at Kudanshita station, I would always go counterclockwise. I'll attach a map for you guys, because if you go counterclock, well, we can go clockwise actually, but my recommendation is going counterclockwise, because although it is a long walk, it's like 8 to 9 kilometers if I'm right, you actually reach the Tokyo station if you keep walking counterclockwise around this like moat basically. And along that way, because there's a moat, it's basically sort of like a valley going on. So sometimes there's these sakura trees that's actually blooming on this hillside, and it kind of makes me wonder like, how the heck do you grow a sakura tree like that? And it's actually in a really nice view to like view in this area parts. And yes, you guys have guessed it, I will be shooting with the Fujicolor 100, which is probably going to be my main sort of like film stock to shoot 35mm with, because of the hike in prices of the 35mm. Like Kodak Gold 200 for 35 just increased to like $12 if I'm right. And now, although Fujifilm actually jacked up the price of Superior and the Fujicolor 100, the Fujicolor 100 still is around $10, 1,080 yen, so that's like $9 actually. So it's actually, they kind of won against Kodak Gold in terms of price, but it's like the cheapest price for 35mm film format if I'm right. So yeah, let's get going with Kudanshita, aka Chidorigafuchi, with a Nikon F3 with a motor drive. Let's get going. of now, I'm sort of confident that this is sort of going to be my sort of like main film stock for 35mm, because there's a couple reasons. One is it's like the cheapest film stock now, and these like cheapest film stocks gets handed over to Kodak and comes back to Fujifilm, goes back to Kodak, due to the fact that these companies are hiking the prices of film. And you guys know Velvia 50 is like $40 right now. It's insane seeing these like price hikes, you know. And in Japan right now, Kodak's Gold 200 and Color Plus is actually much more expensive than Fujifilm's Fujicolor 100, and price is like an option that I have to like take into account when I'm purchasing films, because in the long run I want all my works to look, you know, cohesive. It has to look like similar, and I should actually start picking up a film stock that I can like routinely shoot with confidence. And for 35mm, I'm gonna continue shooting with Fujicolor 100. So because of that, I actually stocked up on some rolls for my future videos. And at the same time, I'm actually need to like decide what my main sort of like medium format film is going to be for my channel. And because you guys know the Pro 160 and the Pro 400H is discontinued, unfortunately, while there are new film like emulsions popping out, such as the Gold 200, which isn't being released in Japan right now, have a high expectation. And I think in later December Cinestill's gonna release the 400D for the 120 and the 35mm to the public. They're doing a crowdfunding right now, so I have like high expectation, and I have to like test to see which film is gonna sort of like be my main like shooting film stock. So yeah, high expectations on future videos to come. So like I said, like I enjoy shooting with a Fujicolor 100, and if you have any questions, if you have any like comments, please leave it in the area below. I'm happy to reply to you guys. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you next time. Peace.